So you want to become a full-time professional trader, or you just want to improve as a trader and you're all alone and not sure how to do any of this. In this video, watch @MelanieNix1 share how she is working on her trading game. Melanie provides outstanding role modeling for the trading community in this video. If you want to improve as a trader, watch and learn from this developing trader. Hi, I'm Mike Bellafiore, co-founder of SMB Capital, and we're a proprietary trading firm located in Midtown Manhattan. And I'm also the author of the trading classic, One Good Trade, and the Playbook. Click our subscribe button so you don't miss any of the videos that we're producing for you in the trading community. Well, in this video, you're going to see a developing trader role model how to improve as a trader. You're also going to learn stock selection, how to develop a trade strategy that's effective, the best practice to improve your reading the tape skills, how to grow from your best trades, how to use RVOL to improve your stock selection. And as always, the biggest reward from videos that we're producing for you in the trading community is how to think through a trade like a pro. For those who want to see winning trades to add to your trading business, check out this video. If you want to learn 3 real-world setups that our traders use, including the simple setup that we teach all of our new traders, and the setup that turned one of our traders into a 7-figure big money earner, check out the free webinar that we're currently running. Just go ahead and click the link that should be appearing right now at the top right-hand corner of your screen. That's going to open up the free registration page in a new window. Don't worry, you're not going to lose this video. You can also visit tradingworkshop.com to register for this free, intensive, awesome workshop. You're going to learn more in a couple of hours from this trading workshop than from years of online education. All right, Melanie, welcome. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what type of trading that you're doing and how you got into it?
Okay, so I am 21 years old and I am a new intraday trader. I was first introduced to trading through a recommended YouTube video when I was about 18 or 19 years old. And since then, I've just been teaching myself for the past year and a half through books, web articles, YouTube videos, and screen time.
All right, great. Well, that makes you more mature than 90% of the people in this room who are in college and younger. So you are the veteran.
Thank you. I've heard that. People say, oh, you're not like a typical 21-year-old. I'm like, well, what's a typical 21-year-old?
All right, great. So on that note, let's get into it. You put together an opening drive short in MU. All right, the floor is yours.
So we'll start with the big picture in the SPY. So it recently reached a new high, all-time high, and it had a bit of a pullback. As of June 28th, which was when this trade took place, the market had gapped up a small amount pre-market and a quick spike down on the market open. There were a few pieces of news that came out. The Fed said they weren't ready to cut rates yet, and also President Trump was set to have a meeting with Xi on China, the China trade talks on Saturday. So the intraday fundamentals, MU had their Q3 earnings report on June 26th, and it was positive, so it rallied for about 2 days. The whole semiconductor microchip sector has been booming the last week and also the last month, so MU was still in play after their earnings. This day, the 28th, the stock had gapped up pre-market about 3%.
Okay, and I think that is a good question to ask yourself, which is, this is a few days after MU had earnings. And so stock selection is super important. Somebody wrote, you're only as good as the stocks that you trade. That was me. And so you do want to ask yourself, this is several days later. Is this going to give me the opportunity? You like that one?
Yeah, that's funny.
Is this going to give me the opportunity that is worth it for me to be focused on this particular day? And so, did you ask yourself that question? Do you feel like it's still super in play enough to be worth your attention?
Yeah.
Okay. And why did you feel that way?
So when the first day of earnings came out, I did notice the same exact play, but it was on the long side, so an opening drive long. I tried to play it, but I was in really small size, so it didn't really work out too great. I did take a small win, but the next day I played it again since it was still in play. It was on my gap up scanner, and I saw another opening drive long, and I just sat on my hands and I watched it go. I'm like, why did I do that? So today, another opening drive, except it was the opposite. It was opening drive short as people were taking profits today. I saw that opening drive play, and I was like, I'm going to take advantage of this one. I've had the stock on my radar all last week for like 3 days. It had some good moves in it.
All right, great. And there's no right answer necessarily for that. There's the right questions you want to be asking yourself, and there's the right review that you want to be going through to make sure that you're really in things that are moving so that you can make some good trades. All right, having said that, long-term technical analysis.
So long-term, the shares float were 1.10 billion. The short float was 3.41%, which is low. Average volume is 26.33 million. The ARVL is 1.41. ATR was 1.56, which I really had to keep ATR in mind when taking profit on this one. The volume for that day was 49.3 million, a little bit less than the volume that happened on earnings, which I think was almost 60 million. Points moved this day was 1.35, and I kept a little note on the bottom. It broke out a consolidation range between 32.20 and 36. It broke out of it with the earnings, and it kept going up.
All right, good. And Melanie, when I asked whether or not this stock was in play prior, you could have just said, Bella, the R-vol was 1.4, next question. So that's a good reference point for whether or not something is in play. Overall, we've talked about this with you guys about if you want to trade a large cap stock, go and look at the R-vol to make sure that it's high enough. I think the last trade that you guys were in, R-vol was like 1.6, and you thought that was high enough. So good. If it's not going to be in play, if it's not going to be in play enough, you're going to see R-vol at 0.8, something like that, maybe less. All right, great. Technical analysis, short term.
Use this short term to basically explain my levels that I was seeing. So the pre-market, it gapped up about 3%, up to almost 40. But once it gapped up, it also started dropping, and the market dropped below a long-term technical support of 39. And I have 38.30 as a level. That was the high of the previous day, so it was in play for that week. So I put that in. That's in the green line. But it wasn't a long-term technical level. And also, I have the 200 SMA on the 5-minute because it seemed to bounce off that on the 5-minute. So trading strategy, this was kind of my thought process when going into the trade. If MU gets rejected by the pre-market high of 40, then look for a short position. If MU breaks 40, then look for a pullback and test to 40 to go long. If MU holds 39 level, then look to go long up to 40. And if MU breaks 39, then look for a retest and go short. And then when I was exiting, I have a few points that I think about when exiting. So if the 39 resistant broke, I would exit the position. That's where my stop was, right above it. If the 5-minute candle closes above VWAP, then I would exit because it obviously is showing more upward momentum. And if the trend breaks, then exit. And if that 38.30 level couldn't break and hold, then I would take some profit or exit.
This is really good. So this is really good. I said this earlier this week. If I could go back, maybe I said it last week. If I could go back and add something to the playbook, I would have added a trade strategy slide as part of the template. And what I really like what you're doing here is not only have you added that trade strategy slide to your playbook trade, but you're being specific about how you're going to enter and how you're going to get out. What I see from people that are underperforming, what I see from people who are leaving money on the table is them identifying. I just sent comments back to a trader who's actually a really great trader, trades internationally, had his best month ever to date, and has been a very successful trader. And he was talking about one particular issue that he was having with his trading, and he said, I just want to be more mindful of this issue. And my response to him was, let's be more specific about the solution that's going to work for you. And one of the things that I see as well, sort of pivoting to talking about trade strategy overall, is that people underperform on their trades and they say, oh, I wish I would have done better, or I wish I would have made more money. But yet, when you ask what that looks like, they're not specific about how they were going to do that. They're not specific within their trade strategy for how they were going to do that. They're sometimes not, a common answer is I just would have been bigger. Well, if you would have been bigger, would that have meant that you were going outside of your risk guardrails? Well, that's not good either. So the more specific that you are with your trading strategy, the better you're going to do overall, the more you're going to improve. All right, the more nuance there is to it, okay, the more subsets that you're putting into trades, the better. Gives you less things to think about, makes your learning process a lot better. If you know that you need to be thinking about 8 different things when you're in the middle of a very specific trade strategy, okay, and you identified that maybe you thought of 6 of them, but not all 8, that's a better path for you to learn from, as opposed to you've got none, or 1, or 2, and you've got to think about the other 6 that you should have been thinking of when you were in the trade, and now you're going to try and learn from an experience with incomplete thinking. You know, your experience, you were in the trade, you had incomplete thinking going into it. That's not a particularly great experience to build from. A complete thought process and then being in the trade is. Okay? So good job being specific here, good role modeling for all the other people in the room. And the room is filled with, I'm looking around the room is filled with all of our interns, all of our summer interns. And so this is something for you guys to be thinking about when you're putting together your playbooks. All right, great. Let's take a look at trade management.
So on the open, as you see, it dropped right below that 39 level. That was my first sign that let's see if it can retest that 39, pop back up. So I waited for a pop, and when I did, I noticed there was a very large buyer at 38.90. And I know it says a little spelling error right there. It's 38.90, and I just waited for that buyer to disappear from the level 2 and the tape. And once it did, I went in full size since it wasn't breaking that 39. Full size to me is not as full size as I should have been in this stock. I then set my stop right above, a few cents above 39. And then I could have added, now that I'm seeing, another area around the 38.90 area because it popped right back up almost to that level. But I just held it through it. And then near the bottom, there was a battle between buyers and sellers at 38.30. And for a moment there, the buyers seemed to have been gaining control, so I took a third off of my position and set my stop to 38.60. But then it broke under that 38.30 level, and it struggled to stay under it, and the tape was getting heavy and the volume was picking up just a little bit. So I sold another third at 38.24, and I fixed my stop to be under 38.30 once it broke that 38.20 level. I set it there because it was pretty close to crossing over the 13 EMA anyways, and if it couldn't get under this 38.20 level, if it didn't break under that level and hold, it would be going back up and basically breaking the trend, the overall trend. So I ended up selling the rest of my position there.
Okay, what do I like most about this trade? We talk about it all the time in here.
There's a system for exiting.
Okay, I like that a lot, that there's a system for exiting. I was thinking about something else. What do I really like about this trade?
Confirmation from the tape.
Yeah, confirmation from the tape. So we see, when we study the best active intraday traders, that their best trading comes when they see it. They have a thesis, they have a setup in their playbook that they're considering, and then they see the entry from the tape and they get in at a good price. They fight for price. And so you're seeing, aren't you, the entry. You're identifying a buyer at 38.90 on the tape who's holding the stock up. We want to short it. If it gets below a longer term technical support level, it's a little bit below there, but the tape is holding it up. That buyer finally drops, you see it. The 38.90 buyer you saw buying, you saw that buyer holding the stock up, and then that buyer drops, you see it. And so you all come in here daily and sit through a reading the tape session. And a really great best practice for traders to get better with their trading at is to record your screens. Before the day starts, record your screens, and then make note of important inflection points, important moments in a trade like this. This is an important moment. 38.90 dropped. All right, note that. And then go back and watch the tape of what it looked like before and what it looked like right after 38.90 dropped. Can you notice the nuances on the tape that made it more likely that the buyer was going to drop? Can you notice characteristics when it dropped below 90 cents for which you could have gotten shorter, for which it would have been worthwhile to put on more risk when it got below that moment? I can tell you that one of the really great intraday traders in the country, he has been making this a large point of emphasis with his trading, that he is going back and he is watching the moment, and this trader makes north of $4 million a year and has made consistently north of $3 million a year for as many years as I can possibly remember. Okay? And this is a point of emphasis for him. He's going back, and on his really big trades, he's going back and watching the nuance on the tape before and after. He's got years and years of trading experience. He's got years and years of trading success. Okay? He's, in his own words, he's got enough money that he really needs to live comfortably for a while. That he reasonably needs. And so this is the work that he's doing. This is the specific work that he's doing. And so if it's good enough for this person, it ought to be good enough for you. All right? This is something you want to be doing every day. And that's why we come in this room every day at 12:30 and we ask you guys to share tape of moments like this with all of us here. And so Melanie, if you were here internally, we would say to you, can we watch that tape back? Can we watch what happens a little bit before 38.90 and a little bit after that? And can we now talk about how you traded it from that point? And you may have noticed something that you didn't notice, save for going back and watching the tape. It might have been the case that you could have gotten way bigger, a pop back up towards that 38.90 that you didn't think about.
Yeah.
You know, it may have been that it was so clear, there was foreshadowing that 38.90 was going to drop, that it could have gotten you a little bit shorter, a little bit earlier, maybe even before it dropped, or would have given you more confidence to hit it harder when it got below that 38.90. And so that's a really great best practice for all of us to be doing, that top traders do to get better. But yeah, and I agree the exits are spot on. That's good stuff. And I just love the fact that you're seeing it and putting on risk.
I did do a little bit reading the tape. It's just a little overview of where the battles were.
Okay, good.
So there was that 38.90 buyer on the first pop back up near the 39 resistance level. And I just waited for that buyer to disappear off the level 2 and off the tape before I entered. And then the next battle was around the 38.30 area, and it was popping up to 38.40, and I took a third off when it looked like the buyers were starting to gain control and go above 38.40, but it was a fake breakout and came back down. And then once 38.30 broke, there was another battle right underneath, 38.20 to 38.30. So I took another third of a profit since that battle it just didn't seem to want to break down. Broke down again from that 38.20 support. It was another fake breakout. I think it was like one wick and a little candle. And it came back up to 38.30, and I set my stop under that price. I think I got out at 38.28 on that one. I was stopped out. So this was actually one of my best trades I made. I went in with full size. I have this little cheat sheet where it's like a $40 stock, what is full size for how big a stop is, but I didn't think about how tight my stop was. So I could have been even bigger, especially since I was watching for that 38.90 buyer to drop, which is a great signal that it's going to go down. So I could have been bigger. I still need to work on my sizing, and the stock didn't have that much volatility, so I could have even made my stop tighter. I had it at 39.05, and I could have made it even tighter. And if I did get stopped out, it wouldn't have worked, or it just wouldn't have been the right time to be in it. But overall, it was a great trade. Especially, I love how I watched the tape to take my profit. I think I did a great job on that one. And I also have to keep in mind, like, I did make 4 transactions on this, so it was kind of expensive for my commissions with my small account. I think I probably could have made it in 3 if I took a third off after that 38 3830 broke, instead of getting scared on that little tiny pop. But other than that, I did pretty well.
All right, good. I'm going to steal from my trainer what he does to me all the time. I'll do a particular set, and then he'll say to me, Mike, good, 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 but, and then he'll proceed to tell me what I really need to do a lot better. And so this is actually really, really good. Three things about this, and it relates to what we talked about before about being more specific. So in your trade review, you want to say, well, how big you could have been, and where the stop would have been, and how much risk you would have had on the overall trade given these adjustments. That will help you really grow and get better at your best trade. It's so important to make more on our best trades. This is a huge deal. All right, this is one of your best trades. You should be excited about it. You should be excited about it because it's one of your best trades, but also because it's something that you can use to be even better. It's something that you can use to start building a career around. So very good on it. Add those specific thoughts, and it'll be even better. All right, I'm sure we got some questions in here from the younger guys, the younger interns who watch the trade. Questions, anyone?
Melanie, what gave you the conviction to get short the stock on such a low time frame? Something that really scares me, something I really want to work on, is having more conviction in a morning drive, because I've been stopped out so many times from a move that comes down and then comes back up. What was it that made you say that this stock will definitely come lower or will likely go lower? I know you said the buyer came out of the way, but was it the 39 level that gave you that conviction, or was it something else?
Yeah, so I've been watching this for 3 days. So as I said, the first trade made the same thing, just on a long side, and I just wasn't big enough. And then the second trade was also on the long side, and I never even entered it, thinking that I would just get stopped out. After 2 days of showing the same setup, I took this opportunity. I just went for it, said, if this stock doesn't do the same thing as it did the past 2 days, then it just wasn't the right play. So I added all of that conviction. The 39 level was very important for the day before, and it was also a long-term technical level. So I was very confident on that 39 level, and the tape, and also the fact that it's been doing the same play for the last 2 days since earnings.
All right, great. Melanie, any questions for us?
Just want to thank you for giving me this opportunity. I really appreciate it. It's great to go over your trades with a professional. Since I'm doing this all on my own, I kind of just have myself to look back at my trades and see what I did wrong or right. And I just want to thank you so much for this.
Yeah, well, thanks for sharing with us, and really good trade and really good work that you're doing. Hey, go ahead and click our subscribe button so you don't miss any of the videos that we're producing for you in the trading community. And please take the time to add your feedback in the comments section for what videos you'd like for us to produce next and what you found helpful from this video. From all of us at SMB, train and trade well.